Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations. Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations. Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations. Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations. Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Race fans, good evening and welcome to the last great house that Penske built here in the southern California Valley. Oftentimes during the NASCAR season, they refer to it as Hollywood Week. However, the nighttime is the right time for the Metalheads Truck Series in prime time. Oh, and if you need a little extra nitrous on top of that already, it is playoff season, and we are cooking here as this track no longer with us in real life. However, it lives on in the iRacing.com servers. Are we now 10 laps into the scheduled 105 right here on Ghost Racing Network? Good evening. Matt Metler up in the broadcast booth as we are already underway here. Now officially clocking 11 laps in that history book. It is hot and heavy up here at the front. This racetrack, about as wide as it gets. You don't like where your truck's running, you can rip the bottom. You can run the middle. You can go up to the wall. Plenty of different options. A lot of real estate to figure out where your truck is going to work best this evening over the run tonight. Is that 00, the HMFIC, Nate Cogdell. Last week, his internet prevented him from joining the competition. Question marks surrounded it this week. So far, so good, as he carries the torch here in prime time. Got to thank Tyger Contracting for being the premier race sponsor this evening, as they've supported the cause, been on board with this league all season long. Cannot thank them enough. Matt Hayden has had a lot of momentum, especially rolling into the playoffs, and he has been strong each and every week as he about mirrors the race line of that Chevrolet. Might actually get a decent run here, see if he gets some help to the high side here, and he does. That 00 is so good on the bottom, though. Really able to put the power down. However, there's going to be a train foreman here on the high side. He's going to have to aggressively side draft. Say John Force special it into the turns 3 and 4 complex. Ooh, the 5 got in the wall. There goes the run, and there goes the 00 back to the lead. You want to know how to play defense here at Auto Club and the trucks. I mean, Nate just spelled it out for you right there. And he didn't need to put the 5 up into the wall, but that was kind of on his own accord. Self-inflicted concrete poisoning, never a good thing. However, that scratch is not going to hurt the performance of that Tundra. Nate started outside front row here. He sits, been able to grab the lead here early. He has carried the torch virtually since the drop of the green flag. Pass now moves up into second. You see him bopping and weave him doing the Indy snake at times behind him. We'll see a lot of that here tonight. Oh, now the 7 goes up. Shades of what Hayden did. So he's going to go up and kiss the fence. Front 2, single file, then it's 3 wide. The 5 there still trying to rebound after he went up there and paid the safer barrier visit. That may have actually hurt the performance of that Tundra just a little bit, as now he's bleeding a couple positions here. 16 got a big-time push there from the 54 trailer. He's trying to go places early in this one. Pit strategy already playing out as it's a mad dive bomb to pit road. being led, not licked. Oh my God. There's a tongue twister for you. By Nick Gardner, Brett Summers, Matt Hayden, Colton Hardy, Dennis Steele, and that 28 Texaco Helveland machine. All down on pit road. Ooh, the 7 may have no, he did not, excuse me. Matt Hayden is well on pit road. Looks like the Napa Know-How man's going to lead the charge off here. So he got it done in the pits. Brett Summers in tow. Come one, come all. That's usually the story, the case here at Auto Club is here comes trailer. And then the 196 as well of Caleb Kleiner. However, Nate and company on an alternate strategy. He still has draft support. He's got Dylan Pass with him there in the 11. More than likely, they're going to run this to the first stage break. I'll tell you what, that Chevrolet has been on rails tonight. He is primed right now to try to go out there and get him a clutch playoff win. Little extra ammunition inside the cockpit of that race truck is, like I said last week, unable to take to the racetrack due to internet issues, so you know he's been chomping at the bit to get out there all week long, and it is showing up right now. There's trailer in the front of him in the 54 as he is on the cusp of going a lap down here. As he's currently being scored in that 18th place position. Let's go on board with your leader. That's the 00 out in front here in Auto Club. Throw it in hard, drive it out fast. Those are his words, not mine, but that's what he's been doing, and that formula is working. Nate most liked this place because he's got this track figured out. Sends it off into the corner. Very minimal input on the steering wheel there. Nice and smooth. Under the lights here, track temp is not going to be an issue. These trucks can be making all the grip. That 00 is looking mighty strong here in the early going. Now 22 laps into the scheduled 105 here. Dylan Pass having a great run here as he started third, currently runs in that second place position. Clinton Woodby from Elizabethtown, Tennessee. I mean, he has been the man on the move. He is up 13 positions in that 92. Smirnoff colors on board this evening. Or excuse me, Isaac Smallwood has the Smirnoff colors on board this evening. As my timing and scoring decides to update there. Little bump draft going on down the backstretch. Toyota on Chevrolet action. This is for that second and third place position. Then you have Rusty Modesty here from Illinois. So he's going to bring that EcoBoost F-150 down to pit road. Certainly don't want any mistakes here. Don't want to get caught speeding. Clean execution there by the 6. Dylan Pass also down on pit road as well. Apparently a couple gremlins in the system here this evening. I apologize for that. Talk about making every inch count out there on the racetrack. These guys coming off the racetrack, they're still duking it out on pit road. Smallwood now in his pit. Team's going to go to work here. Down and away fuel only. Through Kansas Sunoco Racing fuel for the 10. So he's got some aggressive strategy tonight. The 3 momentarily had the lead. Out of Fairhope, Alabama, that's Keith Prince. He's going to give that up. Big Haas colors. Great looking paint scheme actually on that rig tonight. It's a darn good looking machine. Green flag pit stops complete. That's going to cycle the 16 to the point, up 7 positions. Benefiting from all that clean air as well as we are side by side behind him. Mark Beverly, who's been on a roll here as of recent. That's the 55-5 or the 55 ride. Working the bottom one. So he's going to try to slide it up right in front of the 7 there, coming off the corner, and he does. Beautifully done. The Napa Know-How man, Mark Beverly and Brett Summers, currently round out your top 3. Top 3 cars, they have about a half a second over the 00. However, he is closing in. Remember, he did not pit with on the first wave. He stayed out a little bit longer. And just as I say that, here comes the 42, Kevin Winker, Winker Nation, always representing in the YouTube.com live chat. As he's up 12 spots. Rolling deep. Oh, he almost, I think he made a little contact there. Yikes. Winker had a head of steam that he was not lifted. 3 wide, get skinny. 55 knew better. He's going to go up the racetrack. And just like that, Winker, no blinkers required. He goes to the point. He hit the afterburner on that 42, made it look easy. Just as we get Our first caution of the evening. This, of course, not for an incident on the racetrack. Winker's your man with now that the first 30 laps. Are officially written in the history books here tonight. Live on Ghost Racing Network. And under caution for the first time this evening, as it's Winker, the Napa Know-How Ride, Nick Gardner, Mark Beverly, Brett Summers, and Nate Cogden. That's your top five as we currently run right now. We're going to step aside, pay some bills. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with all of the Metalheads Truck Series action right here on Redline Racing Network. Race fans, good evening. Welcome back to Ghost Racing Network as we hard cut in back from commercial break. Is green flag back in the air, and we're back underway here in the Tyger Contracting 210 here on GRN. Mark Beverly getting the business from the 5 on the bottom, 2x2, side by side. Looks like we're barreling down the backstretch at Talladega. Nate might make it 3 wide here. Oh, the 15 comes up to block. There is a big time run coming on the high side. The 16 looked up in the mirror and said, I better get up there. Draft very much in play here this evening. Two Chevrolets lead the high lane. First Ford in line's the 55, and he's got a hungry pack of wolves surrounding him. He's right where you don't want to be right now. Here comes the 97 of Hardy. Furthest forward he's been throughout the duration of this race so far. Hardy going for it all. Gonna try to pull the slider, but the 00 strong arms him with a big time run once again. Nate has got this place figured out. He had another 100 horsepower compared to everyone else there when he pulled that move off. That was incredible. Piece of driving by the 00. Comes the 318 right on cue. It's hard to tell, but there is a small number 3 before that bigger boulder upon an 18. Ooh, tried to squeeze in front of the 97, wasn't enough room. As they exchange lanes. 18 throws the or the 318 throws the Louisville slider. Another truck with the winning number in front of it, the 133 Ashley Ellison Jr. Side by side with Hayden, as he almost took it down there to the flatlands. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th. Ooh, the storm is a brewing right around the 88 at Fitzmaurice. There's Pass trying to work his way back forward towards the front. He's having to tiptoe gingerly. Beverly there as well. Ooh, the 7 gets into the wall again. That's the second time he's went up there and had a speed date with the fence, at least by my count so far. Oh, good Lord Jesus. Hold on to it, fellas. We are slicing and dicing here. You can tell it's playoff season. 196 there, just stuffed it in there like Grandma's Thanksgiving turkey. As he holds on to that 15th place position. Steele's going to work the high side of the racetrack here. He's going up to the top shelf. Had a big run, he just couldn't do anything with it. He sent it back up to the point. It's still all the 00. Just as I say that, here comes Canada. And a Chevrolet as well. Ooh. Talk about a game of inches at speeds of almost 190 miles an hour. Wasn't sure Nate had enough room to throw it in there, but he barely fit it. Two trucks single file as they are nose to tail. You can tell that 318 wants the lead big time. As the 00 is mirror driving, using his spotter, fruit sheep. Almost got squeezed up into the fence. Because now he's going to venture up to the high side of the racetrack. He's going to get us, we're going to run here side by side, door to door, as we drag race down the backstretch. Double Zero really set it into the corner. Can he make it stick? And he does. 318 going to try the crossover maneuver, and they still don't have it settled. They're going to be side by side, start-finish line, but Canada led that lap. These two are putting on a show right now. And all this side-by-side racing, this is letting everyone else behind him close it. Got the 16 there, the Goodyear machine, David Traylor. You got Matt Hayden as well. Basically pitch at 10 over the top 5 right now. Now make it a 4-way battle for the lead. Nate may have used his stuff up a little early here. May have pushed those Goodyears a little too hard. Couple Toyotas here working together. That's Traylor and Hayden. That's the 54 and the 5 going up against these Chevrolets just in front of them. Sporting some Kyle Busch scheme. Three Chi colors on that truck tonight. Interesting. Decals there on the bed cover and the spoiler. I see that, Matt. This time by at the start and finish line, we'll have lap number 50 on the board, and we'll go through the field here momentarily as they race down the backstretch now into the turns 3 and 4 complex. through the field for the first time of this evening. First time to the point. The 318 machine currently leads the charge here from Auto Club as 16 and Nick Gardner goes for the lead. So he's going to send it into the corner here. Best spot in the house for this battle for the lead from Bryan, Arkansas. 2023 Twisted Jazzy Truck Series champion Matt Hayden currently resides in third. David Trailer up 2 spots from Connors, Georgia. Currently rolling in fourth. Well, the 00, the HMFIC head coach and bottle washer Nate Goggle runs in that 5th place position. 6s across the board for Colton Hardy. Currently 6 up 6 positions in the 97. So he about bumped the 00 into the corner. Mark Beverly from Salem, Ohio, currently holds that 7th place position, while the 10 of Isaac Smallwood currently holds down 8. David Kleiner in the 196 machine slots into 9th, while Clinton Whitney from Elizabethtown, Tennessee rounds out the top 10. The 88 of Jimmy Fitzmore Reese from Rochester, New York. That's about 45 minutes from my hometown, just outside of, just south of Niagara Falls, New York. Trip down the Interstate 90 to wind up in Rochester, and I hear they got some big snow coming here over the next couple of days or so. This winter is just about underway in the upstate New York sector. Bombay, I'm pretty sure that's Florida. About 30 minutes north of me, that's Brett Summers there in 12th, while Dennis Steele rounds out your top 13. Another Florida man from Jacksonville in the 28 line. Dusty Modesty currently right behind that 28 machine in that 14th place position. We have it from Oklahoma City. Currently rounds out the top 15. Keith Prince slid back a little bit here in the early going. 9 positions to be specific. Resides in 16th, while Michael Newman in the 12th runs in 17th. 18th belongs to Skylar Berry. Kevin Winker, who had a big time run there towards the front before that first set of green flag pit stops, now finds himself in the rear with the gear. Just inside the top 20 in 19th, while Dylan Pass finds himself now a lap down in 20th. And a similar story for Ashley Ellison Jr., who rounds out the 21 trucks currently out there on the racetrack at this time. Widen things back out once again, send it back up to the point. And it is still a mad dash for the lead. I don't know about you folks at home, but I am sick this racetrack is no longer in existence. One of my favorites as a kid growing up. Ohio Bush won the last race here on the Cup Series side of things. But at least, hey, we got it on iRacing, but as I always say, all good things must come to an end, and very similar story here with Auto Club Speedway. Smallwood looking like Morris in the Mets. He's brewing some cocktails on the high side. He's got Hayden with him. Matt Hayden's one of the long run boys. He knows how to preserve those Dr. Feel-Goods, and he really maximizes the performance out of those tires. Smallwood doing a great job of that tonight as well. So is the Bev in the 55. Asphalt Outlaws paint scheme on board his machine this evening. As pit stops underway once again, being led by the Napa Know-How machine. Isaac Smallwood, Matt Hayden. Nate's going to come down with the first wave this time. See a side-by-side with the 7 of Summers there. Dennis Steele, Kyler Berry as well. Nice looking paint scheme on his ride here tonight. Detroit Lions. I'm telling you, that team is scary looking good this year. Jared Goff and those guys, they have got a team. As Pat McAfee likes to say, MC, DC, Motor City, Dan Campbell has really got that team turned around. And Detroit, definitely not a team you want to play this year. I mean, they just hung 55 points, I think. Roughly 55. It may have been maybe a point or two different, within the ballpark. The Jacksonville Jaguars, that team is just a beast. Winker does cycle to the lead here. However, he was last down on pit road, lap 32. As he does find his way back to the front momentarily. Lap 60 showing on the board of the scheduled 105 here on Ghost Racing Network. We're going to step aside to our first all-out Turn It Up coverage of the evening. Go ahead, feel free to turn it right up along with us on your home or on the phones or into your home, however you get this esports sim racing coverage right here on Ghost Racing Network. Welcome back, race fans. Hope you enjoyed that extended Turn It Up coverage right here on Coast Racing Network. Here's David Traylor Jr. Gets that Toyota up to the point for the first time this evening. And in fact, that Crank It Up session brought to you by Black Magic, our official design partner here. We don't thank them enough for what they've done for us as well. In fact, we want to get out of the static. Go see the guys at Black Magic. David Dunwoody and the gang will put some serious vibe in your ride. And remember, it's good for 2/10 out there on the racetrack. That is the one and only Black Magic. That battle you're currently seeing right now out there on the racetrack is not for position. That is the 11 of Dylan Paz currently being scored in. Goodness, that 19th place position. A little bit of an off night there for the 11. That Chevrolet is going to give some extra mustard to the 54, sending him into the corner there. Tell you what, Nick and that Napa Know-How machine's having a good run here this evening, currently in that second place position. Similar story here for Colton Hardy. Matt Hayden right where you expect him to be, right up here in the thick of things, inside the top 5 and 4th. Clinton Woodby having a great run. Chevrolet is really strong here tonight as well. There's Cogdill, your outside pole sitter. Three wide, it's okay to three-way here at Auto Club. You get away with 4 wide here. Nicely done by these drivers. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th right here. Bottom lane there. Slings it up to the wall. Has Hardy in tow there. All this going on behind David Traylor Jr. Got about 2/10. About a truck length and a half at times. Over the 16. Let's check in with the YouTube.com live chat. Tower operator Sean Arita checking in all. Hashtag Winker Nation. Tell you what, Winker Nation fans, they are like clockwork. You can guarantee them to be representing in the YouTube.com live chat. I appreciate you showing up each and every time. These drivers are out there in prime time this evening. As that battle for the lead is getting ready to heat up here once again. In fact, it's a 2-truck breakaway here at the point. They have just about a second advantage over Hayden there in the 5 ride. Don't want to get away from this battle here for the lead because it's a good one. downforce special down the backstretch. Pick your poison. With a Toyota on the top shelf from on the hides, the cookies. Or the 16 eaten on the bottom, Waffle House hash brown style from Waffle House. Pick your poison. See a lot of respect being shown here. Leaving some breathing room, a lot of real estate in between those two trucks right now. However, as we get down under 15 laps to go, you're going to see that side drafting perhaps get a lot more aggressive to the point where you could barely shit a piece of paper between these guys. Trailer really able to keep it wound up on the high side, and that's been just enough to edge out that Chevrolet on the bottom. '16 might go to the high side here. He's now in the tire tracks hub, the 54. This hasn't been able to keep enough momentum. Thought the 16 might pick up a little bit going higher on the racetrack, but it looks not to be the case. As now Trailer's opened it up to about 0.3 of a second. All this going on. Guess who's closing in once again? Matt Hayden. The longer we run, the better that 5 gets. In fact, Nick is the meat in the Toyota sandwich right now. His TRD runs first and third, while Chevrolet runs second and fourth. Is the 00. It's rebounded back inside the top 5 in fourth, and Mark Beverly in the 55 ride continues to hold on to that 5th place position, best running Ford tonight. Summers utilizing the Larson line. I mean, literally running the top of the fishbowl here. Hardy with him as well, and in fact, these two guys kind of been like magnets throughout the course of the season. Just cannot seem to get away from each other at times. This is 7th and 8th. Liner number 196. Holds on to 9th while Keith Prince runs out of the top 10. Great looking. Oh, there goes a big one. The 28 got yeeted. Dennis Steele. How did he save it? Unbelievable piece of driving. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he almost got it into the 88. Forget Code Brown. That was Code Everything. That, I can stamp it, mark it, guaranteed. That was the Don't Stain Your Ride, Use Tide moment of the race. That was the Pooh Brew Special. However, we do stay green. That excitometer got dialed up there to 1,000. That's how quick it can go bad here at Auto Club. Two drivers fighting for the same piece of real estate, and they make contact, and that was a big-time save. As we are just 24 laps to go, as it's all Napa know-how at the front of this piece. We'll step aside for the final time tonight, and we'll be back for the remainder of the Metalheads Truck Series playoff coverage right here on Ghost Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Race fans, good evening and welcome back to Red. Oh, I almost did it there for the first time. I almost said Red Line Racing Network. However, not the case as we're live on GRN. Welcome back to Ghost Racing Networks as we're now officially under 20 laps remaining. In fact, 18 on the board here. From the West Coast here, just outside of Hollywood in the San Fernando Valley. California, the place. Metalheads Truck Series doing the race out there on the racetrack. Clinton Woodby trying to punch his playoff ticket. Get into victory lane here. However, the Toyota boys, Trailer and Hayden, are right on schedule and dialing up the excitometer inside the cockpit of that Chevrolet, who's up 14 positions. Doing the Tyger Contracting 210. And it has been a barn burner since the drop of the green flag here. Waiting it up here in prime time as they always do. These front three trucks have almost a 1.5 second advantage over Brett Summers and Nate Cogdill. Currently hold down fourth and fifth. It's a three-truck breakaway at the front. These Toyota drivers perhaps try to team up here and dethrone that Chevrolet. In the words of Phil Collins, we can feel it coming in the air tonight, and I think that may be a factor before this race is said and done. In fact, let's go on board the 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Currently slots into that third place position. 2023 champ. He is hungry for another win. As his battle buddy just in front of him and David Traylor Jr. This is the battle for the top. Oh! The 5 caught a piece of the fence there as we were on board with him. That's going to cost him a ton of momentum and time. Summers and Cogdill now have him in their sights, I should say. As now Trailer and Woodby start to pull away. A very rare mistake from the 5. And they are drag racing behind him. The Palm Bay man, he's going to carry the cojones on the high side of the racetrack, able to get around the 00. He sends it off into the corner. That smooth Tennessee whiskey is flowing here, though, at the point. Woodby has been able to outshine Trailer. His dancing partner, though, Matt Hayden, is now about 6 to 7 truck lengths back because of that unfortunate incident there with the fence. Tell you what, these two Chevrolets are duking it out right now. It's Nate and Nick at 4th and 5th place position. There's 11 laps remain on the board. They rumble down the backstretch into turn 3. It is hot and heavy for 3rd. As we approach the Geico restart zone, past the flag stand, and now 10 laps remain. That Chevrolet, piloted by Clinton Woodby, has been able to keep the hungry David trailer at bay and has kept him in that 2nd place position. Hayden doing everything he can to try and reel these two back in, but he doesn't have any draft help right now. If he can close in perhaps another 10th on trailer, could be back in business, and he really picked it up that lap. He's got the draft back now. The 54 and the 5 were there. I mean, they were throwing everything all over Woodby. However, he was the Iceman. He was not having any of it. But when the 54 lost his dancing partner, that really allowed Woodby to kind of crawl away here. But now the 54 and the 5 have teamed back up again. Let's see if they can have time to make one more push to challenge the 92 as he's doing everything trying to get going. Here those Toyotas come. Matt Hayden, that last time by, ran a 42.38 to your leader's 58 and a 67. I mean, he had the afterburner lit. Let's check the lap times this time at the line. Oh, he had those Toyotas. They were a 10th and a half quicker, and here they come. I'm telling you here, you got to have a dancing buddy. You've seen what happened to the 54 and the 5 when they got separated. Now they're teamed back up, and they are coming. Woodby trying to bleed these laps off the board. Tell you what, Woodby is really strong out of 3 and 4. Trailer and Hayden are really good in 1 and 2. In fact, they just closed it up a ton right there. Now they have the draft off of Woodby as well as they rocket down the backstretch. The 54 and the 5 don't want to get caught racing themselves just yet. They want to keep working together like they've been doing. The gentleman's handshake lap now officially on the board. 5 to go. The 12 going to do the respectable thing. He's going to go to the high side, get out of the way, does not want to play a factor. Oh, he throws it right in front of the 54. A Chevrolet throwing the block for the 92. That may have actually helped Trailer and Hayden. Because they were able to get a big-time draft off of that Chevrolet. That could have actually perhaps backfired. They are there now within striking distance. Trailer at first probably not happy with that move until he figured out how much it helped him out. Would be running for his life, trying to fend off these hungry, hard-charging Toyotas here at the end. The first time around, he reigns supreme, able to keep him at bay, and he's trying to do it again with under 3 laps remaining here in Southern California. We fire down the backstretch. Let's jump on board momentarily with David Traylor Jr. This is where Clinton Woodby has been so good. Oh, Hayden's going to get around him. Oh, Hayden gets into the wall again. They're going to be side by side at the start-finish line. Just as they were perhaps trying to make a change there to see if they could go up there and challenge Woodby. That may be the break the 92 needed. As the 54 now leads the 5 again, and don't look now, but Nick and Nate are coming. They could possibly be running out of time, though. The 54, the 5 are going to start racing each other. This should allow Woodby to buy a little more breathing room, as we are now on the final lap here from Auto Club Speedway. Woodby's going to send it in off the high side of the racetrack. He's going to turn and burn all the way down to the bottom through 1 and 2. He's going to put his foot back to the floorboards down the backstretch for the final time. Still about 0.3 of a second back to those TRD boys. The 54 is going to send it in the corner. He's going to give it all of Grandma's biscuits, but it's not going to be enough. As Clinton Woodby is going to do big things here in Hollywood to go out there and get it done in prime time and win in the playoffs. He is your winner in that 92 machine, up 14 positions, holding off a hungry David Traylor and your 2023 champ in Matt Hayden as they run out the top 3. What a drive by Clinton Woodby. Talk about having to elevate yourself, your game, in these clutch moments. You see the 5 coming up, giving him a bump, congratulating him on the win. Dylan Path just wrecks him. he just karate kicked him in the door and made him go John Deere mode. I don't think he meant to do that, but sometimes that's just how it works out. Is your Chevrolet winning moment here? And Clinton Woodby. Perhaps the drive of the season for him this evening. See, he's not going to burn it down. He's going to park it right there on the front stretch. Oh, there he goes. I was going to say. Burn it down, man. You've earned it. Get the rest of the good out of those good years, bud. Your winning moment right here on Ghost Racing Network. What a drive from the 92 tonight. Big time statement is Southern California belongs to Clinton Woodby. We now get ready to interview our top 3 drivers, just like we do each and every time the metalheads go to battle out there on the racetrack. Looks like our drivers are ready for their for their interviews. So without further ado, what do you say we talk? Let's try this again, as it's not wanting to work here. Oh, that's interesting. Drag and drop is not wanting to work. Well, let's go ahead and just do it. You guys about ran me out of gas up here at the broadcast booth calling that one. Is that you guys put on a show. Now joining me up in the Ghost Racing Network broadcast booth, Clinton Woodby. You got a copy, bud. Well, hey, man, congratulations first and foremost on what a drive from you this evening, man. Probably one of the best performances I've seen from you all season long. You had 2 hungry Toyota drivers behind you. How were you able to hold those guys off lap after lap and just do what you needed to do when it mattered most and punched your ticket into victory lane?
Because I thought for sure David would get at least 2 men beside me, and I thought that would make it to where Matt would catch us. But I guess I never had clean air all night. I was about back in the pack all night, so I didn't really know how effective it was, but I guess it was pretty good from the looks of it.
Yeah, well said, brother. I was kind of saying a prayer up here at the booth for you, and it just seemed like every time they mounted a charge, you had an answer for them. You know, whether it be trying to block the runs they had, utilizing you throwing all the dirty air you could at them. But that was a heck of a drive by you there at the end, man. I'm sure you see it in your rearview mirror when the 5 caught a piece of the wall there. That kind of hampered their momentum a little bit, allowed you to pull away. Were you able to get, at least catch your breath during that time before they were able to charge or at least mount a charge back towards you there at the end?
Yeah, I just did that to try to make sure I was not going to run out of gas. I hate running out of gas or having a pit strategy call gone wrong or something. And I was like, with 7 to go, that's what I was just telling Dave. With 7 to go, I had like 7.2, so it was close. And I was like, man, he's getting ready to run me out of fuel. So once they kind of fell back to like 4/10, a couple corners, I clutched it, but that was about it.
Yeah, you're reading my mind. That was my next question. How much fuel did you have at the end of that thing when you crossed the start-finish line? I thought you ran out because I didn't see you start your burnout right away. But how close were you on fuel at the end there?
I had like less than a lap. It was like 0.7, I think, 0.8. Getting behind the 12, I kind of just let off the gas whenever I was behind him on the straightaways and just saved a little bit more that way.
Yes, sir. And he did a heck of a job in all phases tonight. Executed well on pit road. And, I mean, you had to come, from deep in the woods. I mean, you had to come through the field. And like I said at the top of the interview, man, one of the best performances I think you have put on all season long here in playoff time. Congratulations, man. Before I cut you loose, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done?
Shout out to my girlfriend Megan. She's my #1 supporter. And Blair Peterson, Winning Bid Diecast, and all of Masami Law Firm. Those 2 guys for being on board with me, and you guys for the stream.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Clinton Woodby goes to Southern California in the nighttime. He goes prime time. It does big things. It holds off 2 hungry Toyota drivers. It punches ticket here in victory lane. Congratulations, man. Go enjoy this one. Want to thank him for joining us up here in the Tony Trapassa Memorial broadcast booth. And you just heard me mention those Toyota drivers a moment ago. You're going to hear from them right now. David Trailer Jr., Matt up top, you got a copy there, bud.
Yeah, I got you, Matt.
Well, hey, man, another race, and yourself and Matt are in the storylines here once again. Obviously, you came up just a little bit short. Walk me through your race tonight.
A lot of shooting myself in the foot. Slid through the box twice on trying to pit tonight. I did it during the stage caution and lost a couple seconds there. Did it during the green flag stop and lost a couple seconds there. So a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda tonight. And then you'll probably hear the same from Matt. Just too much dirty air. That clean air is king, and being able to have a little air on the front helps kind of save that right front. I can build a run, I can get next to him, I can push him, I can do all these things, but trying to pass him cleanly requires a little more than that. So just came up a little bit short tonight.
I don't think you're the only driver that had problems getting into the pit box. It seemed like that's where the Waffle House dumped the bacon grease, was when you were trying to, just lock it down and hit the pit stall. I know that, as you mentioned, that he was giving you some problems, and certainly some other drivers there too. You mentioned you gave up some time, but I mean, that truck was so fast tonight. You were able really to make some ground under green flag conditions out there on the racetrack. You mentioned the battle, with the 92, and you mentioned that dirty air. It just seemed like that little extra tenth that you needed, you just weren't able to generate enough momentum to clear him cleanly. Obviously, you could have used the bumper there at times. You chose not to. But just how much of a factor did that dirty air make? And the other side of that, how big was the draft tonight as well?
Oh, I mean, you could run in the draft, and then break it, kind of go through the corners, and you'd be okay. But there towards the end, Clinton ran the line that really I wanted to run, kind of arcing it big, getting back to throttle early. So that's the only way I know to save tire. I'm terrible at the short run here. So once he was kind of in my line, I knew I could have went to the top, could have used some right front early, trying to get around him. But I was scared to death that I'd wear it out too early, and then with like 5 or 10 to go, they'd come driving back around me. So I thought maybe I'll hang out behind him a little bit, maybe try to get some air on the nose. Just like I said, didn't get enough. The draft can keep you in it down the straightaways. You can pick up an extra 6, 7, 8 miles an hour. But like I said, just need a little more air, and maybe a little bit longer run.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I know you came home second, but you put out a show out there tonight. Certainly fun to watch, and call all the excitement up here in the booth. Before I cut you loose, David, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on that 54?
Oh yeah, thanks to teammates Colton and Isaac tonight. Both of those guys had a top 10, 8th and 9th respectively. So good job to them. Shout out to Clinton and Matt. All three of us probably could have won the race. It just kind of came down to who had the air, who had the fuel, and just having the right lap. Shout out to you over at Ghost Racing Network. I love going back and watching the broadcast. It's always super fun. Thanks to Nate for putting this league on, and Sonic Graphic Design and all the sponsors that make this possible for us to come out here and do this on Mondays. And then thanks to QH Designs. They're on the truck this year. You need any market material, hats, shirts, vinyls, signs, anything you think of, reach out to QH Designs for any of that. And then thanks to my dad watching at home, Tommy, and then my fiance for letting me do this.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. David Trailer Jr., Mr. High Octane, during the nighttime does not disappoint as he put on a thriller, especially in those closing laps, doing everything he could to find a way around Clinton Woodby. Came up just a little bit short, but he'll take a solid P2 finish here from Auto Club. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth, bud.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Matt.
Always appreciate talking to David Trailer Jr., and certainly last but not least, the 2023 Series champion, Matt Hayden. What's going on, my man?
Hey, Matt, how's it going, man?
Man, you're what's going on, buddy. It seems like every time there's a broadcast, you're up here in the booth afterwards. All this momentum going on. That truck was vibing once again. Uh, man, I honestly thought you and Trailer were going to get Clinton Woodby there a couple different times. And then under 10 laps to go, I didn't know maybe if you and David were trying to make a change, but you caught a piece of the fence there, and it really seemed to set you back. Do you think that may have been the difference, perhaps, in getting the win out there tonight?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was unfortunate. Happened twice. In that first run, kind of same thing, out leading, and then just started getting tight, pushed up in the fence, and then went from leading the thing back to I don't know, fifth or sixth or something like that. Yeah, same thing there, man. It was good pit stop, get out front, was leading, and then was about half a lap short. Try to save a little bit in the corners, and then pull that gap back up down the straight. So, I wish I had a half a lap more fuel in the car, and then I would have just tried to stay out front. But that's not how it worked out. And Clinton drove a hell of a race and did what he needed to do to win. So hats off to him.
On the other side of the coin, you drove a hell of a race too, and it always seems like during these long green flag runs, you just really have a knack, and David as well, for just maximizing the efficiency of those tires. I mean, you were having to play the fuel strategy as well, as you said, a half a lap, you would have been able to, run a little bit harder and keep your truck out there in clean air. But I mean, you were busy out there. This wasn't an easy third place finish for you. You really had to get up on the wheel, and earn that third place finish. And again, I know I've asked you this before, but how are you so darn good over the long run? How do you save those tires the way you do, man? It's incredible to watch.
Well, it's just kind of this particular race. After that first stint, the normal lap and a fast lap around here is to, you know, drive in, let the car coast around the corner, and then try to pick up the throttle at the right amount of time, so that way you don't push up in the wall, but you want to send as much momentum down the straights as you can. And I think late in the run with those tires, the right front falling off, I think I'd found actually running deep down into the corner and then dragging brake just to get that speed back down was, I was making up more time in the braking portion of that than it was the drive off. And we found that late after second set of tires went on, and kind of worked our way back up after kind of a crappy pit cycle. So, yeah, I was looking forward to that last go around. I think we made that move on David. I think I made it at the right time where I'd have 2.5 laps to try to take a shot at Clinton, and then as soon as I made that pass, I just right up in the wall and screwed the whole thing up. So, but yeah, man, this was fun. I know a lot of people dog on this track, but it's fun, man. Hanging these things out wide open, man, it's a blast.
No, it certainly is. And I was on board with you when that incident happened. I thought that was going to be the move that perhaps changed the outcome of the race. And unfortunately, the safer barrier kind of had other plans for you there. But, nonetheless, always fun to watch you do war out there on the racetrack. And I agree with you. I hate the fact that this place no longer exists. This was one of my... Try it once again. Matt up top, you got a copy, bud.
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, sorry about that little connection gremlin there. This is when I was finishing up your broadcast, but as I was saying, here we go again. Apologize for the connection issues there as we are closing out the broadcast. Hearing from our third place finisher tonight, Matt Hayden, your 2023 Series champion. And race fans, unfortunately, has come to that point in time where all good things must end, including this broadcast. Want to thank Tyger Contracting for jumping on board and being the premier sponsor of the race this evening. Certainly was a thriller here in primetime tonight And also got to thank Winker Nation, everyone showing up, sounding off in the YouTube live chat this evening. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on bell notifications. That way you'll get notified each and every time the Metalhead Truck Series does business here in primetime on Ghost Racing Network. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a favor, don't play in traffic, and we'll see you next time right here on Ghost Racing Network. And have a happy Thanksgiving.